So I found something alarming the other day after reviewing this Fitbit data. I've been wearing it for about a year and realized that I have slept for 6 hours 2 times in the last year. One of those times was 7 hours, and I haven't had 8 hours of sleep in the last year. And I guarantee this is not just over the last year. This is much longer. So a few more months and I am well into my mid-40s, or officially into my mid-40s, and I realized that as many things that I've leveled up with, discipline, discomfort, fitness, sobriety, launching a business, living out of the back of an SUV, 1,300 miles from home, no money, no help. I mean, the amount of different skills I've stacked, brands I've launched, I've got a lot of receipts, but there's a major deficit that I have not gotten worked out yet. And I want to tell you just a little bit about this. Now, there are 2 parts, and one of these we're going to have in other videos that's more of like kind of a spiritual beliefs thing. And there's some really amazing progress and work I'm making over there that I'm going to bring you along for. But this is a lot more like analytical, cause and effect, what I'm doing, what caused the problem, and how this relates to maybe where you are in life too, something that you might not understand, because I'm starting to realize that no matter how hard I hustle, how much I pack into this life or this brain, there is a point where there's too much of a good thing. So what I realized was, feeding this data into AI, having a discussion with it, I was really firing way too much. There's the sympathetic and the parasympathetic part of the brain. I honestly forget which is which now, but between everything that I've been doing, plus I went on this mission about 1.5 years ago. I'm a very analytical systems thinker, really good at problem solving, was not good at reading retention, slow at taking tests, but great at figuring things out and making things happen, understanding cause and effect and multiple levels of consequences that most people just don't see. So I took this hyper obsession figuring out finance and economics, not just how to work for money, I've got that one figured out, but how money actually works and how to make money work, right? So I went just so deep into this, day traders, long-term investors, different asset classes. I'm telling you, I'm to the point where I truly understand this on a level that has a whole lot of value. But I've also made all my moves, formed my thesis, made my investments, and I'm continuing to move in the same direction no matter how good or bad things get. Like, I've figured it out. I've figured out my path. But I've also had this, big fear of missing out, right? Because I'm coming back from a divorce, an addiction, a life-changing injury, a failed business. Just because I understand all this stuff, I recognize that right now at this moment, there's some moves that I can make that I might be missing out on millions of dollars over the next 5 or 10 years. But I also learned something even better in that pursuit. No matter how good the financial investment is, the best investment that I can make is myself. By far, the most asymmetric bet that I can make is on myself and what we're doing here together. But the thing is, I've formed my thesis, I made my moves, nothing's going to change no matter how bad or good things get. If there is some sort of information that changes what I'm doing, that's going to come to me. So I was just inundating my brain with all of this data, all of this information. I've taken years off of politics here and there, off of world events, and of course, economics, finance, you're going to get sucked back into it. I also had sworn off of any form of entertainment for years. No Netflix and chill, no, it's always just my time has to be going towards something, to expanding knowledge, to making moves, to doing something. But that got to the point where it was actually becoming harmful. And there's another part of this too, just a heavy reduction in caffeine. Now I'm down to 2 cups in the morning at 3:30 a.m. when I get up. And, the next round at 8:30-ish is decaf with just a little sprinkle of real coffee in it. I think just a placebo, just to make, get 20 milligrams, make me think I'm doing something. So reduce the caffeine. I have eliminated all of this different financial news, data, current events. Right now, we're in the middle of, April 2026. So there's all this Strait of Hormuz stuff going on, and potentially there could be a lot of real wild things in the future. But my data, my thesis is formed, my moves have been made. There's nothing that's going to change. I've taken all that out of my life. My favorite podcaster, Tom Bilyeu, great about cause and effect, helping you actually understand what's really there, getting away from the propaganda, and being able to really look at things with as much of a true cause and effect view. He's gone too. Now I'm actually at nighttime watching something, some entertainment while I'm eating, while I'm preparing to wind down. After that's done, I put on some meditation music while I'm going through my nightly routine, prepping for the next day. Lay down. I'm working harder and harder to be in bed before 8:30 p.m. And then it's still taking a while to get my resting heart rate down. I've made it over 6 hours of sleep a couple more times in the last week and a half, 2 weeks of this pursuit. I forgot to mention that I added yoga to my schedule 2 days a week. And these are all just different levels of change and discomfort that are completely foreign to me right now versus, just work out harder, work out more, stack more skills, get more knowledge, make more moves, go. As Tom Bilyeu says, man, if I'm awake, I'm working or working out. But then I even hear about breaks he takes, and man, I don't stop. I don't freaking stop. I'm on a mission. I got purpose. I'm not where I want to be, and I know that I'm not pursuing this completely correctly. So, again, we'll get over to this other spiritual belief, different approach and a different talk, but it's been a bit uncomfortable taking away all of the sympathetic or parasympathetic stuff that just keeps my brain firing, bing, 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 bing all the time. And I'm building new businesses, I'm stacking new skills, I'm constantly hit with challenges and complexities and things that are far outside of my skill set that it's like, man, I've been living in senior college finals week for years. I even took a break for 2 months, hit the road. I've got this in my other vehicle where I can live anywhere. I've got my mobile Wi-Fi. I can work anywhere I want to work. I've got land out in the mountains. I spend a bunch of time out there. But man, I get back to this client environment, and what I'm doing during the day just keeps me in that state. And then I kept firing with my brain with more of this different stuff. And the level of this new type of change and discomfort is, like I said, it's foreign. But honestly, when you think about it, compared to, obviously quitting drinking, getting fit, making all these different changes and moves, starting businesses, getting away from the idea that I have to rely on others, that there's a curriculum that I need to follow, that I have to be limited by the amount of my life I can sell, trade for dollars, the amount of dollars I can trade that for. There's just so many limitations that I've gotten away from. But man, this one here, it's actually, overall, the level of discomfort for this is nothing compared to what I've put myself through. But it's still new and different. And something that I'm coming to embrace and love is the fact that, like I keep saying, like Bedros says, new levels, new devils. I don't think this is supposed to come to an end. I believe that for the rest of my life, I'm supposed to continue to evolve and elevate and grow and develop. And when I look at somebody like Jordy Visser, this super successful investor who's in his 60s, I believe he's in his 60s, this guy, the AI skills and capabilities he's stacking at that age is dumbfounding. And man, I've been deep into this AI game for over a year, and dude, I cannot describe the level of unlocks and strengths and capabilities and potential, and it's so amazing. I absolutely love it. And it was hard too. I still find places that, I definitely push the limits and know there's a lot more out there, but man, this is the best moment in the history of humanity for someone who is willing to get uncomfortable, to try things, to learn things, to get frustrated, to find the edges, to figure out that this isn't capable yet, or I'm not capable, and continue to evolve and grow, because these AI skills, they just stack and compound, and it's amazing. But once again, there's another thing where that just keeps that thing firing in my brain that I've got to start shutting that down. So my new habits right now: eliminating all forms of financial news, technical analysis, world events, done, out of my life. That I have still gotten, just early in the day, a little bit of dabble of Tom's, kind of the overview at the beginning of some of Tom's live podcasts. Okay, so 99.9% of it's gone, and I'm pretty sure that's going away altogether. But I guess I don't want to overstate the truth either. I want to be honest. But that stuff's all gone. The nighttime routine now is watching something for entertainment. And if it's something that's like sad, it's emotional, it brings up negative energy that I don't want to go to sleep with, I shut it off. It's done. I'm not watching the rest of that episode of that movie. I'm going to go to something that gets into a different part of my brain and my consciousness. Take that 20 or 30 minutes of my nighttime prep listening to like Tibetan meditation music, and then laying down, shutting that screen off. So I've had 30 minutes or so, 20 or 30 minutes of this meditation music with no words, data, or information or entertainment. After that, it's this different forms of self-hypnosis. And it's so far. Oh, and in the mornings, I've been doing this for quite a while now. And I don't think that this on its own does as much as people say, but I think this combined with many other habits can be really powerful. When I get up in the morning, my coffee maker starts brewing at 3:25 a.m. I wake up to that before my alarm goes off at 3:30. And then I start morning affirmations for about 10 minutes going through the morning routine. Just, I am this, I am that. And that's been going on for a month or two now, just because at this early phase in the day, your mind is the most open to subconscious suggestion. Like these affirmations will go the deepest in your brain at that point. So throughout the day, this is the next level of evolution and discomfort. One of the new things I'm working on leveling up on, that is becoming, it's right now I'm working in it to being a habit. It will eventually become a lifestyle. And then overall, it will become just another part of my identity, which this is a process. This is a process that takes years to change your identity. Now, I think these habits that will become a part of that identity, I think that's going to be much less, because I'm not really changing the identity, I'm just adding to it. So, yes, I believe that fitness is the foundation to change what you see in the mirror and give you the strength to do pretty much everything else you have for yourself in your future. Upstream of fitness is habits. Without good habits, you're not going to have good fitness. Nothing else is going to work out the way it should down the line. But for me now, these next levels, they're more beliefs, they're more internal things that are more spiritual, and then this just next level of habits of removing these things, they get the part of my brain firing that's keeping me from getting the sleep my body needs, as well as removing a whole bunch of the caffeine, and who knows, maybe all of it. I do really enjoy the coffee as a part of my morning ritual. It's not hard to drink decaf. Still seems a little bit odd. It's been at least a couple of years since I've had a non-alcoholic beer, but I still would enjoy that. I just don't want to put like 60 calories of worthlessness into my body. So if I need a treat, if I need a nice glass bottle, I need the same experience and opening the top with an opener, I'll get a case of Topo Chico, this really fizzy sparkling water. And that gives me all of the experience that I would have had one time with alcohol. I just don't feel like spending $13, $14 after tax on a 12-pack of glass bottles of water, because every dollar that I spend on something like new clothes, and you guys will see if you watch my other channel, at this moment in life, if I don't need new clothes, I don't buy them because every dollar, every hour of my life that I still have to trade for those dollars are hours that I'm taking away from my mission and my purpose. So I'm doing everything I can to live beneath my means, which, I think you guys might know by now. So here is right out there. I've bought the land. I'm building the comeback camp. I have no idea how long it's going to take. I've given up a lot of modern comforts and conveniences to be able to go off-road and live anywhere I want, and I can go out on my land for as long as I want or need and work and survive in this thing. And yes, there are a lot of things that you don't have in your house or apartment, but those sacrifices are so small for what I get out of it. When I just got back from home, I spent 2 months waking up to national forests, national parks, beautiful views, very spiritually cleansing and pleasing. Because right now, I got the most amazing circumstance in the world, the coolest clients ever, the most awesome stuff happening inside of this building. But I live in an industrial area in the spring and falls when I come back here. There is a sewage treatment plant, one of their trucks that's hauling a big jug of grossness right over there. There's dust everywhere. It's hot, it's muggy, or it's cold, it's freezing. There's a lot of discomfort here, but this right here is allowing me to continue to live beneath my means, to live the life that I also want for myself, but to build what we're building together. And as everything else keeps compounding and I keep stacking cash and putting it in investments, and then, the last couple months I invested a lot in myself, which meant limiting my income, putting less time into client work, spending a bunch of money, driving cross country and back, shooting right now a bunch of short films I'm producing for my other channel, which is really where my creativity and my passion and the things that I'm good at are going to come out. But here there's a message and a mission and a purpose. So thanks for riding along with me today. I don't know how useful this one was, but I want to keep sharing the places that I'm growing and evolving. There's definitely going to be a few talks that's a little bit more of, this is what I did, this is how to do it, and some guidance on that, where I've got the receipts to prove it, and I want to bring you along on that mission. But I want you to see the things I'm still growing and evolving in, and maybe you've made some progress on these things that I haven't yet. Here's another one of these things. This is probably one of the most important things for this whole deal, and I completely blew it out. I overdo everything. I do something, I go hard. I really locked into solitude. That was very valuable and useful for a long time. But I've eliminated a whole lot too much of my human interaction. And that's also one of those things that was having an impact on my nervous system. So I'm now making sure to contact people that are meaningful to me, people who are aspirational people in my life, surrounding myself with people who are truly peers or at a level that I'm not at yet. And that's definitely another thing that I'm consciously making sure to integrate into my life, to actually start bringing different people back into my life that do have a positive influence on it. So, love you. Thanks for riding along with me. We'll keep on having these talks, and we're just going to keep building and moving forward.